Okay, so our first article for today is about Panglian. Am I saying that right?
Panglian.
Yeah, Panglian. Panglian? Panglian is a small village in Ludhiana district in the Indian state of Punjab. It is located off a main road going to Ludhiana to Chandigarh.
Chandigarh.
Yeah, Chandigarh, capital city of Punjab, between Kohara and Katani. Most people of the village are farmers by trade, but now the village is being consumed by the surrounding urban development. About Panglian is located 18 kilometers towards east from district headquarters Ludhiana, 22 kilometers from Ludhiana 1, 84 kilometers from state capital Chandigarh. Panglian pin code is 141112, and postal head office of Kohara. Haran, Barwala, Shindarnan, Chak Saran, Nath, Rampur, Kohara, Katana, Katani, Kalan, Rayan, Kanek, Mengarth, Sahwal, Doraha are the nearby villages to Panglian. Panglian is surrounded by Senawal Tehsil towards East Ludhiana, 1 east. Ludhiana, Kana, Amagarth, Pilara, Surind, Samrala, Rapar, Fatgar, Sahib are the nearby cities to Panglian. Panglian is famous for big cricket tournaments organized by the sportsmen of the village. Demographics of Panglian Punjabi is a local language here. One Atachaki flour mills are located in downtown. Main highway CHD to LHD to near 500 meter to link village. Main street of the village is also called as downtown of the village and is also famous in neighboring villages. One Gurudwara Sahib located in village. One Dharmic place Baba Bawe Wale also. Shahid Baba Dedar Singh located near Water Tonki, also sports club name Baba Didar Singh. I am almost certain I butchered like half of those words, but if you live in Panglian, I'm sure that you are a nice person and will forgive me. But we're going to move on to our next article here. Alright, so our next article is another short one. This is about R. DeWitt Miller. Richard DeWitt Miller, born January 22nd, 1910, died June 3rd, 1958, was an American writer of science fiction and Fortina. His first science fiction publication was The Shapes, which appeared in Astounding Science Fiction in 1936. His nonfiction books include You Do Take It With You in 1936, a book about phenomena,
Fortean.
Fortean phenomena, as well as The Mastery of the Master in 1944, Impossible Yet It Happened, also known as Forgotten Mysteries, True Stories of the Supernatural, 1947, Stranger Than Life, 1955, and You Do Take It With You, An Adventure into the Vaster Reality, 1955, and Reincarnation, The Whole Startling Story in 1956. Miller wrote one science fiction novelette published in March 1938 by Astounding Science Fiction under the title The Master Shall Not Die, with no collaborator. It was not issued in book form until 1956 when Ace Books brought it out in its dos-a-dos format. Ace doubles under the title The Man Who Lived Forever with co-founder Anna Hunger. The book was bound back to back with Jerry Soules, The Mars Monopoly. Miller also authored a fantasy work titled The Loose Board in the Floors in 1951. Yeah. Miller's novelette, The Judgment, is the cover. I think it looks interesting. Looks like a like something out of Doctor Who, but R. DeWitt, you got your time in the limelight. Let's move on to somebody else or something else. Our next article is another short one. This is about a Burley. Iberli?
Iberli.
Iberli. Iberli, Macedonian, is an uninhabited village in North Macedonia. It is approximately 5 kilometers northeast of Demir Kapija in the eastern mountain valley of the Demir Kapija municipality. The village is along the river, which shares its name. A few people still have horses there. Most residents now live in Selavek or Laki, a more recent unofficial village in the municipality. As far as demographics goes, in 1992, 6 people lived in the village. Since 2002, the village has had a total of 0 inhabitants, so nobody lives there. But yeah, I would say I'm sure the people there are nice, but there's nobody there, or at least there's nobody there that we know of as of right now. But um, yeah, maybe early. Not much to say about it. Not much has been said about it. But our next article is about Toabre, Panama. Toabre is a corregimiento in Penonomé District, Societe Province, Panama, with a population of 10,203 people as of 2010. Its population as of 1990 was 8,975. Its population as of 2000 was 9,534. So it is been pretty consistent, all things considered. Where even is this, actually? That was a whole bunch of words that I could barely pronounce. This looks like it's somewhere in Mexico, but let me pull this up on Google Maps. Okay, so it's not actually in Mexico. It is around Panama, which, for its namesake, that would make a whole lot of sense. I was not really thinking there, but yeah, this is around where it is, around South America. But yeah, so right, Panama. I'm sure it is an interesting place, and I'm sure that the people there are nice. You know, all 10,203. Anyway, our next article is about Chang Yong-a. In this Korean name, the family name is Chang. But Chang Yong-a is a North Korean former track and field runner who competed in the 800 meters and 1500 meters race. She won a middle distance double at the 1982 Asian Games, taking gold medals in both 800 meters and 1500 meters in Asian record times. She was the first Korean to win the Asian 800 meter title and succeeded her compatriot Kim Ok-sun to the 1500 meter title in 1982. She set a 4x400 meter relay national record at the 1978 Asian Games, where she was an 800 meter bronze medalist behind her compatriot Jung Dong-sun. She was also a silver medalist in the 800 meter at the 1979 Asian Athletics Championships, finishing behind South Korea's Chung Byung-soon. These are her times. She was pretty fast, definitely a lot faster than I will ever be. But yeah, Chang Yong-a. I hope I'm saying that correctly, because you definitely need some respect put on your name. But our next article is about Miss Europe 1963. Miss Europe 1963 was the 26th edition of the Miss Europe pageant and the 15th edition under the Mondai event organization. It was held at the Casino de Laban in Beirut, Lebanon on June 7th, 1963. Mette Stensund of Norway was crowned Miss Europe in 1963 by outgoing title holder Maruja Garcia Nicolai of Spain. Not much to say about this. I'm sure that Miss Met is very nice, but I've never heard of her, and I'm sure that if we do this long enough, I'm sure we'll run into her article as well. But we're gonna move on to somebody else's first. Alright, this next article is about the 1920 Democratic National Convention. The 1920 Democratic National Convention was held at the Civic Auditorium in San Francisco, California, from June 28th to July 6th, 1920. It resulted in the nomination of Governor James M. Cox of Ohio for president and Assistant Secretary of the Navy Franklin D. Roosevelt from New York for vice president. The 1920 Democratic National Convention marked the first time any party had held its nominating convention in a West Coast city. Neither President Woodrow Wilson, in spite of his failing health, nor former United States Secretary of State and three-time presidential candidate William Jennings Bryan had entirely given up hope that their party would turn to them, but neither was, in the event, formally nominated. In addition to the eventual nominee, Cox, the other high-scoring candidate as the voting proceedings, were Secretary of the Treasury William McAdoo and Attorney General Mitchell Palmer, On the 44th ballot, Governor James M. Cox of Ohio was nominated for the presidency. Cora Wilson Stewart of Kentucky, head of the National Education Association's New Illiteracy Commission, was chosen to second the nomination of Governor Cox. Mrs. Stewart was selected to replace the Kentucky Representative J. Campbell Cantrell, highlighting the candidate's support for what would become the 19th Amendment. The platform adopted by the convention supported the League of Nations, albeit with qualifications and women's suffrage. Although William Gibbs McAdoo, Wilson's son-in-law and former Treasury Secretary, was the strongest candidate, Wilson blocked his nomination in hopes of a deadlocked convention would demand that he run for a third term, even though he was seriously ill, physically immobile, and in seclusion at the time. The Democrats instead nominated Ohio Governor James M. Cox as the presidential candidate, and 38-year-old Assistant Secretary of the Navy Franklin D. Roosevelt, a fifth cousin of the late President Theodore Roosevelt, for vice president. 14 names were placed in nomination. Early favorites for the nomination had included McAdoo and Attorney General Alexander Mitchell Palmer. Other places in nomination included New York Governor Al Smith, United Kingdom Ambassador John W. Davis, New Jersey Governor Edward I. Edwards, and Oklahoma Senator Robert Latham Owens. History was made at the convention when Laura Clay, a delegate from Kentucky, co-founder of the Kentucky Equal Rights Association and the Democratic Women's Club of Kentucky, became the first woman to have her name placed into nomination for president at the convention of a major political party. She was also the first woman to receive a convention delegation's vote for the presidency. As for the ballots, it was 1 to 22. And so Cox looked like he wiped the floor with everybody. He was putting belt to butt in this nomination. But vice president nominations, Cox asked the delegates to support former Assistant Navy Secretary Franklin D. Roosevelt because, as some thought, he had a magic name. FDR was nominated by voice vote and received the nomination by acclamation. After it became clear that Roosevelt was the choice of party leaders, former Ambassador David R. Francis of Missouri, Major General Lawrence Tyson of Tennessee, Governor Sam V. Stewart of Montana, former Governor James H. Hawley of Idaho, former FTC Chairman Joseph E. Davies of Wisconsin, William T. Vaughan of Oregon, and oil tycoon Edward L. Darney of California all withdrew their candidacies. Yeah, I won't blame them. I would withdraw too if Cox was putting down these kind of numbers. But the 1920 invention, 1920